Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today is September 9th, and I wanted to give you a little breakdown of how the new TTScanner app works and how it's so powerful and why you need to be aware of it. So first things first, we're going to focus on these two charts, which is the SPY, using my MENT rotational modeling system. And what I want you to understand here, ladies and gentlemen, is since this time right here, August 17th, 2020, when the weekly rotational modeling system went bullish. And since right here, which is, get rid of that, which is April 20, let's call it May 1st, when the daily system went bullish. These are the same modeling systems. One is daily, one is weekly. The reason we use daily and weekly is because the daily reacts faster than the weekly and can help us pull capital away from risks. For example, like what happened over here with COVID. But when they both align, like we have right here, they're both green, they've both gone bullish. By this time, the weekly or the daily went bullish before in May 1st. The weekly went bullish on August 29th, I believe it was, August 17th. And now, since this entire time, it's been completely bullish. So now let's take a look at some of the triggers that have gone off with the TTScanner app, and I want to show you what's going on. So we'll start off here with the top one in the list, IYH. We'll come back over here and take a look at the chart. And remember, since basically May 1st or May 31st, back over here, the daily went long, and then August over here, the weekly went long. But this trigger happened right here on, let's see, September, excuse me, June 1st, and has stayed long the entire time. Hit both targets. It's up over, I got to check it real quick, but it should be up over 60%. It's up currently in trade profits 37%. It's hit both targets, and it's rallying. It's the strongest trending system we have right now. Let's take a look at the next one, IYW. IYW, again, generated a trigger back over here. This is on a weekly chart on June 1st again. It's rallied up through both targets. It's continuing to rally higher. And again, it's already up over 72% in the trade. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one, Global Tech. Now, the reason these are all technology right now is these are the strongest in the sector, in the list. So again, here we go, generating a trigger back on June 1st again, rallied through the first targets, continued to rally all the way upward. And remember, this aligns perfectly with the rotational modeling system. So we don't want to take any trades that do not align with the rotational modeling system. So again, let's go to something else here, the REIT sector. And then we'll check out consumer services. REIT sector is up 35.5% right now. Here's the trigger that took place on August 31st. Perfect alignment with the weekly system. Rallied up through both targets and continues to rally higher. Very strong systems. Now remember, take a look at this column right here, this in-trade profit column right down here. These are all of the current percentage profits. 72% profit, 64% profit, 62% profit, 63% profit. This is after pulling the targets. So here's a great one, 86% profit, probably the biggest one we're going to see. And this is the semiconductor, the SOXX. So take a look over here. Semiconductor generated a trigger right here on June 1st again, rallied through the first target on the first bar. That's why there's no yellow line here. Reached the second target right here, continued to rally all the way higher. Almost a 90% profit at this point. So now let's take a look at, let's find another good one. Here's medical devices. Medical devices again generated a beautiful trigger right here on June 1st. Reached both targets within about a month and well, I'll call it 3-4 months. It reached target 1, then target 2, and has continued to rally even higher. Now the point behind me showing this to you is for you to understand the real value of the TTScanner application. The TTScanner application shows us new triggers. In fact, here's a brand new trigger here in biotech. And this, I think, is the one I was looking at earlier. Yep, looks like it. So here's an example. We had the initial bullish trigger on May 15th, roughly. Rallied up, hit the both targets, got stopped out. Then generated a short trigger. We would not have taken this short trigger, or if we did take this short trigger, you should have taken it with a very small, maybe 5 or 10% of your typical trading capital, simply because it went against our longer term structures. We had no warning that anything was weakening in the market trend. So we would be taking a trade counter to this longer term trend. And that means that we're basically taking a very risky short trade. So we come back over here and take a look at the setup again. This short trade lasted only about 2.5 months. Then we went long back over here. The long trade has already come up and hit the first target, came very close to the second. It's rallying up higher, and this is one of our newest trades, 10 weeks ago, 2.5 months ago, roughly. And this is one of the big benefits of this TTScanner application, is that it is longer term. It's very simple for you to execute. You can follow it every Saturday or Sunday and take a look at what's going on. The only thing you want to be aware of is you want to check into these target levels. So here's target 1, here's target 2. You can see it's already hit target 1 here for the IBB. Yeah, this was the one we were looking at. And then the second target here is 178.25. So you want to be aware that this is the next target. You want to have a limit order placed in there, sell limit order to get out at 178.25. New triggers would appear like here's a new trigger here in home construction. Just one, can't hardly see it because it's way off the list, but let me see if I can sort it. There we go. So here's our new trigger right there, ITB. And where we have the new trigger right here is ITB. You can see that we had a beautiful long trigger way back here, ran through both targets, ran all the way up, exited on a net reverse short, which would have been an exit for the long system. We wouldn't have taken this short because, again, it went against our primary rotational modeling system. Now we have a new long in place. We're seeing a little bit of weakness so far this week. We have a new long in place right now. This is our newest trigger. We come back over here to the list and let's see, we've got a couple of short triggers here in aerospace and defense. Again, short triggers, this is discretionary. You can trade it however you want. My advice is whenever you get a short trigger like this that goes against the primary trending modeling system, then use only 5 to 10% of your capital if you want to take it for something that goes against the primary trending system. So here KBE Banks has been short for 7 weeks. Let's take a look at this. It looks like it's upside down a little bit. Yeah, it's okay. There's the short trigger. It's come back against us by about 6 or 7%, which remember, at 10% of your capital would be 0.7%, very less than 1% drawdown right now. And it looks like as long as it rolls over, continues to roll over at this point, this might end up being a pretty decent little trigger. Let's come back over here and try to take a look at something that's a little more pertinent. Expanded software tech. Here's let's take a look at this one. IGV triggered 13 weeks ago. Here's our IGV. Remember, we would have ignored this trigger or taken a very small position with it. Beautiful trade to the upside, rotated downward. And remember, this is an algorithmic trading system. It is not filtered by the rotational modeling system. That's something I'll probably add later this year. But this new trigger generated right here was a beautiful trade, rallied up. 3 weeks later, we hit our first target. About 9 weeks later, we hit our second target, and now we're continuing to rally back out of it. So the real value here is you being able to find these longer term triggers and being able to generate profit with this system. Understand that the reality, when you look at in-trade profit here, look at these numbers. They're massively impressive. 86, 72. These are percentage profits in the trade. These are the number of weeks that we've been in the trade. Many of these trades have been in the, in an active trade for more than 50, 60 weeks, and they've done extremely well. As the markets roll over, change directions, then we'll start to get a bunch of new triggers. But as these trades continue to populate, it's just a matter of, like, for example, let's take a look at something that's in an uptrend that's moving lower, like right here, IYG. It's in an uptrend. It's already reached both of its targets. It's got 56% profit, but it is moving in a down. It's moving lower in an uptrend. So let's take a look at where it's at right now. Here it is. It's starting to move lower in an uptrend. And this is an area that when you start to see this, you get the opportunity that you can potentially add to a position if you want to. Let's see, here's a flat -3. So here's Industrial Select. It's warning that it is consolidating. It's been in a longer term trend. It is in a -3 trend. Oh, here's a -1 and -2. Let me look at this one, real estate sector. Whenever they go into this -1 type scenario or -2 on the trending indication, it means that you're seeing some moderate sideways pullback activity. So depending on how it rolls here, if it starts to move back up into the +1 or +2 sector, you're getting some acceleration back in the trend. So this is the industrial, Dow Jones Industrial International, looks like real estate sector consolidating sideways. So again, once it moves from this sideways mode into a +1 or 2 or 3, that means we're getting some real upward activity here. So again, this is how you can see and use the new TTScanner application. It's really quite powerful. Every week I give it to you in this format, sorted by the strongest trends, telling you what's going on. It's all done at the end of the week. We would normally be seeing new triggers here. We don't have any new triggers. And when that happens, we just look at opportunities in the existing system. And the way I explain it to people is that anything that's within a couple of weeks and still hasn't generated a serious amount of profit is going to give you an opportunity to potentially jump into it to ride out the next phase. So hypothetically, if we look here, this is XLY. It's been in the trade for 25 weeks. It's waiting to get up to the 186.30 level, which is the next target. It's currently trading at 184.80. So you've got really, about 1%, 1.5%, if that, to reach that target, and your stop is at 161. If this were to potentially start to move higher, you could look at this as a quick little trade. But ideally, what I'm looking for is something that gives me a little bit more opportunity, potentially something like this. Here's something that's still waiting for the second target. Target is $5 away, $5.25 away. It's only 6% into the trade. Here's another one's only 6% into the trade. And this one only has $4 away to the target. So it gives you an idea that you can take these trades and run with them. Just if it's already reached the first target, maybe consider going in with half a position, trying to liquidate maybe 50, 60% on the first target and let the rest run in case we catch a nice little runner. The Christmas rally's coming. It's going to be a pretty good year, I think, for end of year rally. So we could see a lot of these roll back into positive and generate a bunch of new triggers going forward. But the idea here, ladies and gentlemen, is for you to see the real value of how this works and how you can execute great trades with this. Remember, $20 a month from the subscription to joinmint.com, Trade Tank, and get access to the TT Scanner. And the idea is that this will give you unlimited trading opportunity through this hot list and these setups to catch very big and sometimes very profitable trends. Imagine having this service 5-10 months ago and being able to catch all of these rallies, knowing that the system's capable of running efficiently when the TT scanner and the rotational modeling system both align. You get a very good indication that we want to be trading one direction or the other in the market predominantly, and we want to be looking for triggers as this continues to move higher. All right, that's it for now. Bye.